Hello, welcome to another unscripted and unsolicited book review. I haven't made a video in months, and my pal GigaChad Books has called me out on it. So I told him that I would, and he said that I'd be making videos saying I'll do something, and I don't. And my response to that is not gonna lie, I be lying sometimes. So, anyways, I think this is a great time to do so because the last real book review I did was at the end of 2024, and I read about 25 books that time. And I just marked 25 books so far this year, and my goal is 3 books a month, so 36 books. So it's the eighth month of the year, so I'm about on track. And I thought I might go through a couple of the books I read. I don't want to go through all of them because I'm not doing all that. And yeah, we'll get started with the most recent book. Recent one on my mind is I Who Have Never Known Men. I just read this book not too long ago. I listened to it at work. But the rundown is that it is about a group of ladies, just all women, locked up in a bunker, suspicious, and there's three guards that change in shifts, so it's like six guards, I think. And anyways, and the main character is the only child, like young girl child, to be in this world and in this situation. So you follow her life in the bunker, and spoiler alert, out of the bunker, but it's not a spoiler because it's on the back of the book. So yeah, they get out. It's a really good book. I really liked how there's this juxtaposition of her simultaneous humanity and her what's the word for it, her kind of apathy as well. So she's not from, like, she doesn't have any memories from before the bunker. So she doesn't exactly relate to these women the same as they do because they have memories from before the bunker. Remember, she grew up in those bunkers. So she doesn't really have, so everything that she's like, everything she knows is, as she says, absurd. And I really like that. I think this was a really cool main character. I love that dichotomy. And honestly, her natural born curiosity was just really entertaining to listen to. And the voice actor also, this is always a bonus. Always a bonus. This voice actor just did a great job. I love when a audiobook just sounds good. And yeah, it just amazing. I gave it a 5 star because for my criteria, and I think I've given 5 stars too laxatively, if that's a good word. Too laxly, we'll say that. I gave 5 stars too liberally in the past. So my criteria now is if I am completely immersed from beginning to end, that's what gets a 5 star. So this is what a 5 star is. My mind didn't wander. I highly suggest I Who Have Never Known Men. Now let's go into another book. Animal Farm, another 5 star. George Orwell, making bangers. I love a short book, all right? Going straight to the point, has a clear message, not many room for interpretation, except a little bit. But if you don't know anything, this book's been out for like almost like what, 80 years? I don't know, 80, 70 years. So minor spoilers. It's about basically an animals who liberate their own farm from the human in control, and it's centered around propaganda. It's such an obvious allegory for the Stalin era of communism, and it's just and it's George Orwell's opinion on it, and I really enjoyed it. It was, it was short, it was quick, and it was engaging. I gave it a 5 star because I love a short book that's good. So yeah, Animal Farm gets 5 stars. Let's move on to The Girl on the Train. I gave this a 4 star. And I also listened to this book, and I like the POV changes. I love when a voice actors change and a POV changes. I'm pretty sure that's a normal thing, anyways, but it happens here. My particular favorite character was Hannah, if I'm remembering her name right. I believe it's Hannah. She's the neighbor girl, and the main character though, she's just batshit crazy. Like, she needs to see a therapist. She needs a psychiatrist. She needs to be on some kind of pill or something, because the only reason anything happens in this book is because she can't mind her own business. You know, she can't let things go. Like, it's and a little bit relatable, understandable. But I enjoyed this book. It was engaging. It was a 4 star because it just, I unfortunately did call it, which, I mean, I love calling something. Like, I called the plot twist. I understood it the moment it came. And when I got there, when I knew it, I was just like, I don't know that it's right, but like when it was revealed, like I called it so early that it's just, I kind of forget what happened in the book, and I can't really clearly spell it out. I mean, I can, but I'm not spoiling it. It's still a good book. But anyways, by Paula Hawkins, Girl on the Train, 4 stars. By the way, this is all on Goodreads that I'm reading from, so follow me on Goodreads. And yeah. Anyways, I liked The Girl on the Train. It ended a little abruptly for me as well, but it was a good book. It was a good book. Let's see. Let's move on to another, but more recent book. Oh, did I not rate this book? Oh, shit. Okay, maybe I read 26 books this year. Anyways, I'll have to rate this. This is another 4 star. I would give it a 4.5 star, but it's a recent book this year. It's the new Hunger Games book, Sunrise on the Reaping. Good book. Like, Suzanne Collins knows what she's doing. Following up on the theme of Animal Farm. Oh, hold on. Following up on the theme of Animal Farm with propaganda. This book was just really good. I enjoyed Haymitch's character and the other 3 books. I watched the movies before I read the books. I like the books better, just saying. But the Haymitch's character is great. They kind of talked about his games in the second book, Catching Fire. It's very different from what this book is. It connects, but it's definitely different. So, still a good book. It wasn't like completely engaging because my mind did wander a bit, so I have to give it a 4 star. But yeah, really good book. Let's move on to something different. Another 4 star from me is The Symposium by Plato. Good book, talking about sex. Pretty cool. Or I guess talking about love in specifically. Now, I got a little bit of a preview in The Art of Seduction because they use the symposium to talk about, seduction, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Definitely Plato's got, or not Plato, Socrates has got some game, some mysterious game. But Socrates, I really liked reading the Symposium and Plato's Republic because I just like the dialogue nature of Socrates, and specifically how he leads people to an answer rather than just giving it to them, because it makes a actual constructive conversation a lot more better. And I like the Symposium because, again, it's a short read. I read it probably in like 4 days. It's only about 100 or it's like 60 or 100 pages, something's like very short, but it's just a really good book. It's about some allegories as well about sex and love, and it's Greek, so there's some like myth involved in it, but it's all allegories. I looked up some YouTube videos on it. I know what I'm talking about. All right, moving on. A solid book, another 5-star from me. I gave a 5-star last year, still solid. This year is continuing on. Emily St. John Mandel's Sea of Tranquility. This is a good book. Now, the way she writes is kind of like scatterbrained, if you think about it, but it all connects, right? And this is a sort of semi-sequel to The Glass Hotel, which is a 4-star I gave. I gave it a 4-star because my mind did wander, but that doesn't really say anything bad about Emily St. John. I think her characters are gripping. I just was not into The Glass Hotel as much of Sea of Tranquility. You do not need to read The Glass Hotel to understand Sea of Tranquility, but it will enhance at least one character in The Glass Hotel. So, or the Sea of Tranquility. But you don't need it, if that makes sense. It's very loosely connected. That's all I'll say. But the way Emily St. John already writes is it's enhanced by the theme of this book, and I don't want to reveal it just yet because I think it's kind of like a spoiler if I do, or at least it'll give it away. But it's a short read. It's only about like I think 200 something pages, maybe 3. But the audiobook is like 6 hours, so it's a quick listen or a quick read. I listened to it, and again, I love when a POV change is happening and the voice actor changes with it. It just makes it better. Anyways, and quick review on Glass Hotel, 4-star. It's about the 2008 financial crisis. If anybody knows anything about that. But not with real people. As she said in an interview, she was more interested in the crime than the actual people. So, a little bit about that. Midnight Library. I gave this a 5-star. Again, gripped me the entire way. It's just, this lady's depressed, right? She's going through it. And she gets this opportunity to change some things about herself, or at least live different lifetimes. So some like a journey of self-discovery, if you will. And it was just really good. You know, it kind of makes you think about your own life and, you know, like what would it be different if you made different choices. And that's all I'll say about that. Good read. Though I will say in hindsight, I think I was a little liberal with the 5-star rating. I think I'd give this a 4-star. And I'm going to move on to another book that I gave a 4-star rating. And I'm going to give this a hindsight 5-star. Because I really like this book. I listened to the audiobook, and it gripped me from beginning to end. And it's called The Silent Patient. And I remember asking ChatGPT for some book recommendations, and this was one of them. And I was like, that sounds cool. The cover art's cool. Essentially, it's about this lady who was involved with a domestic crime, and since she's been arrested, she hasn't said a word. Didn't say a word at her trial. She's in a psych ward, still hasn't said anything. So her new therapist is taking on the challenge of trying to get her to open up, and they follow through this kind of 2 different POVs, which is what's going, or I guess 3. So the main narrator is this therapist, and then every now and then, sparsed in is something from the journal of the silent patient. And, you're learning about her early life when she was actually yapping. And it's really good. I really liked the voice actress that did it. She did a great job capturing the emotion of the character, and the story was gripping. And also the therapist is why I said there's 3 different point of views, because I guess it's like the therapist and the patient, and then the patient alone, if that makes sense. So the therapist is also going through some like domestic troubles, so it just ended up in a really nice book. So in hindsight, I'm gonna give this a 5-star because it kind of stuck out in my head. And I'll give one more book a review, and that's going to be Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Really good. That's what I wrote in the review, and that's what I can say. It's there's a TV show, an Apple TV show based on this book, and this was recommended to me by my roommate. Shout out to Tragic Backflips. He's This book was about a little bit of multiversal travel, and it was very good. I mean, my mind wandered a bit, so there's some sparses of moments that I don't remember. I remember the gist of it. And I mean, it was just a solid book. So that gets a four star. It's not my favorite. It doesn't stick out more than others. But yeah, that's some of the books I read. These were all fiction books. I didn't really want to get into my nonfiction because I think I'll do a separate video about that. But I'll try to make another one soon. I'm not going to commit to anything because I don't want to get called out again. But thank you for listening, and you guys have a good day. See ya.